Hi, this is Mark Anthony Siri and I'm going to deliver a speech regarding the ineffectiveness of online and flexible learning in this time of crisis. It's already been a year since the pandemic had created a tremendous catastrophe and damage worldwide, and our country, the Philippines, is still experiencing the same amount of crisis that it experienced when the COVID-19 virus struck and spread last year. Aside from that, a lot of systematic inequalities and issues have also emerged from this pandemic, and our educational system has no escape from this, given the risky and threatening condition that the regular face-to-face classes may cause. Because of the increasing amount of COVID-19 cases, the online or flexible learning was implemented in our country. However, this kind of alternative learning method had resulted to a lot of issues that caused challenges and struggles to the students and even to the teachers. Instead of providing better quality of education, a lot of students and teachers experience being financially, physically, and mentally drained or exhausted because of the given amount of workloads and requirements. The issues between privileges also arises since not everyone are fortunate enough to continue their studies. Not all students have an equal access in different devices or gadgets, a better internet connection, or even a conducive learning environment. This kind of result only proves that distance or online classes is not an effective kind of learning method because it is not for everyone. 1 year had already passed and we're still suffering from the criminal negligence of the government. That's why we need an accountability from them. We need a concrete and effective plan because we deserve a better quality, safety, and accessible education. Last month, the chair of the Commission on Higher Education proposed the adoption and normalization of flexible learning method and emphasized that there is no going back to traditional face-to-face method. Because of this, gathered a lot of attention and mixed emotions from different people, especially from the netizens and students who are experiencing the difficulties of distance learning. This statement only proves that the current administration and the CHED still have no plans for transitioning from online classes to traditional learning classes. And this is the problem. Normalization of online and flexible learning will not solve the problem. Rather, it will give an additional burden, especially to those less privileged. Not everyone have the resources to proceed and continue online classes, especially that many families who are less fortunate or underprivileged don't have the capacity to buy the educational technology such as gadgets and internet connection for their students. So it is very hard for these families to provide academic support that these children needed. Another thing is that having slow to no internet connection greatly affects the online classes of students and teachers. Many students were not able to finish their online classes because they don't have a stable internet connection. Just like, for example, the teachers of Santo Niño National High School from Batangas City had to climb on the rooftop of their school building just to get a better internet connection, which is also the same situation with the 10-year-old J.R. Calma, who also had to climb on the roof in order to get an internet signal. This is how hard this distance learning to those less privileged. Another thing is that online class also resulted to physical, mental, and emotional struggle. Many students suffer from anxiety, lack of social interaction, being mentally drained, and depression that greatly affected their physical and mental health. Due to the overwhelming amount of academic workload, there are students who are struggling to adapt from this situation, making them experience excessive amount of stress, anxiety, and exhaustion. That's why we need and should demand accountability from the current administration. If the other neighboring Asian countries like Taiwan and Vietnam can prove that you can still open schools as long as you have proper plan in safety protocols, then why is our country couldn't do it? Well, it is because our country have poor COVID-19 management. The government should administer a comprehensive and concrete plan to help the students, teachers, and the academy to have a better quality, safety, and accessible education through prioritizing on providing the right amount of budget to the health and education sectors and conducting mass testing, rigorous contact tracing, and quick response for mass vaccination. Let us all gather together and raise our voices together. demand accountability from the government's criminal negligence, and amplify the voices of the marginalized and less privileged. We can use any resources that we have to spread proper information and our calls on how important the safety reopening of classes is and how it is connected to proper management of the pandemic. Through collective action and by using our social responsibility as a citizen and as a student, we should continuously urge every university and the current regime to listen to the calls of the students and the faculties. After almost a year of the implementation of the online and flexible learning, it is just proven that this kind of method is ineffective, given that it resulted to physical, emotional, and financial and mental distress. It greatly affects the students and even the teacher. This is coming from a student like me who is also struggling from this distance learning setup. By normalizing this kind of method, we are also overlooking the pleas and struggles of the less privileged who can't adapt and continue their education because of its inclusiveness. That's why we need to take an action now. We should urge the government to take a clear and comprehensive plan for a better and accessible education. We need an effective solution that could deliver us to a safer resumption of classes because we deserve a better quality of education and accessible healthcare system. Let us also remember that there should be no students left behind, especially in this time of crisis. Thank you for listening.